I'm going to explain Cold Snap and give a few tips for it. So here the mechanics are simple. You're shattering frost on frozen enemies, which means that it's a follow-up skill. You need to pair it with another ice skill that will freeze the enemies. Once they are frozen, you use this. It's going to break the ice and deal very high damage in a very small AoE. So it's not a skill that can clear waves of enemies, but it can deal a very high damage to rares and bosses. So very nice skill to pair with skills that deal more AoE damage, lower damage. It also has a special interaction with Frostbolt that I'm going to illustrate. Now for the freeze part, there's quite a few options that you can use. I see most players use Frostbolt with Cold Snap because of the special interaction, but Frostbolt has a bonus to chill. It doesn't have a bonus to freeze. So other options that you could use is, for example, Ice Nova. If you use Ice Nova with the cast on Frostbolt, you have a 50% bonus to freeze here. Our Frost Wall has a bonus to freeze here, and also if you use a Gelid Staff, you're going to have a Freezing Shards, and Freezing Shards has a bonus to freeze here. For the special interaction with Frostbolt, you're throwing a Frostbolt like this, and then you use Cold Snap on it. You can see the explosion here. If there is frozen enemies in this range, they're going to explode. So it's a nice way to use Cold Snap on several frozen targets at the same time, because otherwise you need to Cold Snap them one by one like this. The cast speed is very quick though, so it's not very hard to do. Personally, I really like to use Cold Snap with Ice Nova's cast on Frostbolt bonus here, so I can pair Cold Snap with Frostbolt and Ice Nova. It's a bit more tricky than just using Cold Snap and Frostbolt, but Ice Nova brings a lot of flexibility, a lot of defense. So you can open, for example, the way with the Frostbolt and steer far and just do the Ice Novas in front of you. Then you can see I just froze it and made it explode with a Cold Snap. You can go on the other way and move back like this. You can just hide behind a pillar like this, no problem. So now I'm going to move back, freeze them, and I move forward and then just make them explode with a Cold Snap. Now for the support gems, I think the most important is you're going to want to use Glaciation with the paired skill. So for example me, if I use Ice Nova on the Frostbolts to freeze the enemies, I want to have Glaciation that adds 50% more freeze buildup on it. If I was using Freezing Shards to freeze the enemies, I would just put Glaciation there. And for Cold Snap itself, anything that increases damage will be good. Cold Snap has very high base damage, so Controlled Destruction here, 30% more damage, will have a very big impact. In the non-recommended ones, I would suggest that you use Concentrated Effects that will reduce the AoE by 50%, but the AoE is already very small, so lowering a small AoE is not much of a problem. Like rule of thumb, if you use skills with big AoEs, like for example Ice Nova, you want to increase the AoE, but if you use something with very small AoE, lowering it is not a problem. So you're going to lower the AoE, increase the damage by a lot, so you can pair Concentrated Effect with Controlled Destruction to have massive damage that will deal with rares and bosses. And later on, when you unlock these here, anything that increases cold damage, so for example Cold Penetration, Elemental Focus, going to be very good here. You're not inflicting elemental ailments with Cold Snap, you're removing freeze, so it's just 25% more damage. Thanks for watching.